Hi, thank you all for joining our live AMA session today. This is Luke and Kristen, and we're from BSC Army, the first decentralized autonomous organization built on Binance Smart Chain, especially for the social media industry. So today we're having a chance to get a new cool AMA session with Luke and Kristen.
So today we're welcoming Japhet from METASEER, and we're broadcasting from the BSC Army YouTube channel. So if you're new here, don't forget to like, subscribe, turn on your notification for other new interesting video coming up next. And please stay back until the end of this live to join our giveaway with the reward of 100 USDT. So hi Japhet.
Hi, hello, host.
Hi, how you doing?
I'm good. So basically right now in Singapore we have the COVID situation. So most of us we are from home at the moment. So feeling pretty good, I guess, for the project and pretty excited for the IDO. So really looking forward to the 27th.
Yeah, that's great. So are you ready to give a little introduction about yourself and also the project?
Yeah, let's do that, man. So hi guys, I'm Japhet. I'm the tech advisor / ops lead for the METASEER project. The METASEER project is actually something that I would say is revolutionary, right? It takes an existing product and decentralizes it. So to put it in a very simple sentence, right, we are offering the first type of financial product that has been seen in the crypto market. We call it hybrid options. So it's a prediction markets product. So hybrid options meaning that it's a mixture of binary options and vanilla options, right? So it's a mixture of both types of options. So this is a product that hasn't been seen in the crypto market yet, and we are looking forward to pushing it out to the crowd, getting it launched, and really just gaining some legit traction on the user base. So you guys can look forward to the launch of the platform. It's a very straightforward product. If any of you is familiar with binary options or vanilla options, you will love our product because it has so many different utilities, right? The very nature of options itself is useful if you're an investor or if you are a scalper for trading or you are a trader who specializes in short time frames. The very nature of our product will definitely be satisfactory for you and you will definitely love it. So yeah.
Well, one thing for sure is that we always like having to interview with the pioneers. And since your project, it's like bringing an entire new product to the market, it's like our pleasure already. So yeah, I know that it's not easy at all to launch like an entirely new product to the space. So would you like to share with us like some information about your team and how have you been able to put up such a great work?
Yeah, so our team at the moment is about 12 people strong, right? We have our user growth leads, right? We just added a new user growth lead like literally yesterday. Her name is Elena, right? Myself, I'm the ops lead / tech advisor. We have Ian, who is the lead for strategic partnerships, and we have Sean, who is the overall project lead. So each of us, we have a ton of experience dealing with cryptocurrencies and the blockchain space, right? We have experience since, I think the three of us, our combined experience is over 10 years, right? Because myself, I've been dabbling with cryptocurrencies and blockchain technology since 2017. Same goes for Ian and Sean, right? So each of us, we got about at least 4 years of experience under our belt with cryptocurrencies and blockchain. Myself, I'm a trainer as well. I train in Singapore for blockchain courses. I started my own project called Auction. I also ran a mining farm before in Singapore, right? So you can say that the whole team, we have been to almost every corner of the market. And like I said, that's just my experience. Ian is an expert in OTC trading, right? He's an expert in forming partnerships, business development, and finding new collaborative opportunities for projects. Sean, on the other hand, he is an expert at exchanges. He knows how exchanges work. He knows how to attract users for DEXs, how to attract users for centralized exchanges. So when you put the three of us together, we actually encompass the entire space, right? From the tech to mining to project development to business development to attracting users to exchange management. All of us combined together actually form the three corners of the crypto market. And of course, that's just the three of us. We have 9 other members who are each specialists and masters of their own realm, right? Some of them are very good at interacting with the Chinese market. Some of them are very good at interacting with the Russian market. Some of them, they are very good at tech, at designing front end, right? How the UI UX will work. Because when it comes to designing blockchain dApps, there is one big hurdle, right? It's not like a usual dApp where you just have to connect the front end to a centralized server and everything goes. But for blockchain dApps, it's a bit different. You have to have your front end interact with the blockchain successfully. So we got specialists in that as well, from Oracle, right? We have advisors coming in from JP Morgan, right? Tech, just purely advising us for tech. So these are the different parts of the project that makes us firmly believe we will definitely be able to launch the product, and we will definitely be able to attract the users that we need to gather on the platform.
Yeah. So the way I see it, the project is like leading by 12 angels, and among the 3 angels, you have the 3 triad. So it's like you're really bringing the Asian culture into blockchain in a nutshell. Do you like that?
Yeah, and I love how like everyone has like their own
Yeah.
important job and takes part in like an important aspect of the project. Yeah, and you all just like work together so fine.
Yep. Sounds like a cool and well balanced concept.
So, doing some research, I know that MetaSeer is called the first C-DeFi hybrid options market. Why do you think it was necessary to release MetaSeer?
I think the decentralized finance space has many great applications already, like AMM swaps, automated market maker. We have DEXs, we have lending and borrowing platforms, we have staking platforms, we have stable coin minting platforms. These are all the different segments of DeFi that are very well explored already. There are so many projects in each of this space, and while there are also some rug pulls, I mean, that comes with the that comes with the job. Okay, but overall, there are many different applications in each of these segments that we believe are top of the range, and they represent the future of crypto and blockchain. But the only market which we think is largely untapped is actually the prediction markets category. And there are very few projects on each chain that caters to it. And I can give you the reason from a tech/ops perspective. When you want to create a DEX or swap, like it or not, there are a lot of coding references on GitHub which existing developers can use. But prediction markets wise, there are less coding references on GitHub that you can use to develop a project. So that is partially, or maybe one of the many reasons why for the prediction markets category, there isn't a lot of products. Now, and even within that category, the products that exist as of now are your normal vanilla options mostly. Whether it's American style options or European style options, that's up for debate. But definitely there are no binary options as of now. So that led us to believe that why don't we go to the traditional finance space, take a product that is already so successful, right? Those of you who know BO, you will know that it was wildly successful. While not all the platforms and all the companies had a good reputation because of the way they manipulated the platform and the data feed, it is no doubt a successful product. It has gathered a lot of users, no doubt at all, right? So me, Sean, and Ian, and the other team members, we were thinking, why don't we take a product that has been successful in TradFi and bring it to DeFi? Because the problem with BO in TradFi context was that there was a lot of manipulation. And the very definition of DeFi is zero manipulation. So that's why we said, look, let's not really reinvent the wheel. Instead, let's improve the wheel. let's go to the TradFi space, take a product that is so successful already and bring it to DeFi. And that's where we came up with the idea of hybrid options, whereby we combine certain elements of vanilla options, like in the money, at the money, out of the money status, with binary options, whereby there's a single strike price. You go in, there's a fixed payout, 1 or 0, super simple. UI UX is the user experience is super easy to understand. There's not you still can analyze, you still can do your technical and fundamental analysis, but in terms of entering a trade, it's as simple as clicking a button and just placing a trade amount, right? So after a lot of thought, we thought that, actually the entire crypto market had this gap. So why don't we fill this gap? And plus the fact that because I came from Auction, which is a vanilla options platform, we already have the tech reference for our own platform, which means it is not difficult to develop the platform for MetaSeer. So with all these advantages that we have, we decided, okay, let's rock and roll. Let's do this. We don't even need to do market research. We don't even need to conduct surveys. Hey guys, do you think this product will be a hit? We know it will be a hit because it was already a big hit, a huge hit in the traditional finance space. So coming over, there shouldn't be any difference at all, right? And we all know that, I hate to say this, but it's true. We all know it's true. Crypto audience is much more speculative than the traditional finance audience, right? At least according to my own experience, that's the case. So with that in mind, we have no doubt that this product will be pretty much popular among our users.
Well, as we are all like crypto enthusiasts, I can share the same vision with you that the traditional market, it's only like another version of DeFi, or in other words, DeFi and the whole concept of decentralized finance, it's just like an evolution of the traditional market. So it would be very logical and reasonable to see that that would be all the demands for all the traditional product to be appear on the DeFi space. So I can see that it's very logical that what you're doing, what you do. But I have to be honest, since the recent issues with Pancake Bunny and also other projects that are exposed to flash loan services, and they were hugely at risk of a flash loan attack, and their project was like flushed away because their source codes were exposed to a lending services. So how have you been trying to come up with a solution to counter the attacks from the flash loan services and also the lending services when doing MetaSeer?
Okay, great question, Luke. I think, first of all, to counter these problems, we need to first find out the source and the cause of these problems. So whether it's Pancake Bunny, or whether it's AutoShark, I think there were a few more platforms that actually had a flash loan attack. No matter which platform we looked at, the key reason for a flash loan attack is really because of two reasons. At least according to my technical expertise, right? Number one, these projects all had one thing in common. They had a dynamic minting schedule, meaning that they will mint more tokens as people borrow more tokens. So when people loan more tokens, their platform automatically mints even more tokens. Number two is they had a loan function, a staking and a borrowing and a lending function. So these two reasons added together is the reason why flash loan attacks can actually happen. And after these attacks happened, what happened was I did a bit of research, and then I found out that projects like Cake, they are not really susceptible to flash loan attacks because Cake doesn't have a dynamic minting schedule. They have a fixed minting schedule, right? So they mint a designated number of Cake at a designated timing. So for MetaSeer, we have no such problem. Number one, we do not have any loan functions. Number two, we don't have any minting functions. Our tokens are fully pre-mined. So with that 2 pointers in mind, you would see that we are totally unsusceptible we are not vulnerable at all to a flash loan attack, right? The only attack that we would sort of be susceptible to will be a DDoS attack, right? Whereby malicious sources flood the website with fake users. So for that, to mitigate that issue, it's pretty simple. We just have to set up the firewall in a way that will prevent a DDoS attack. And maybe we can block out certain accounts that use VPN and all that. So, but even if such an attack does occur, it does not affect the funds or the security of the funds for all our users. Because when users come to the platform, they connect their wallet. It's a Web3 wallet. They connect their wallet and they trade. We do not, I repeat, we do not hold any custodianship over their assets. They take care of their own assets. So putting all these points above together, there is literally almost 0% chance that anybody's funds will be compromised just because they came to MetaSeer to trade or to buy a hybrid option. And I think that's the key message there, right? Because of the fact that our product does not fall into any of the other DeFi categories, it also doesn't suffer from the risk as the other DeFi categories.
I can see that, just like you said, your team are really well balanced. You know exactly what you do. So I guess the thing about your security and experience, it's also what you stand out from other projects, right? Well, I guess every factor about you standing out already, because none other project is doing the binary option like how you're doing it. And I also see that not every project can come up with a proper solution against flash loan attacks. So you actually also answer my next question. So the stage is yours, Kristen.
Well, yeah, I think you managed that so well. So let's get to know more about your project a little bit. Can you somehow give us a little description of your tokenomics? Like how did you distribute it and how you think it was a wise way to do that?
Okay, so the way we distributed our tokens, I would say it is fairly decentralized. So 15.5% goes to ecosystem development, 35% is for liquidity mining, 5% for exchange liquidity reserves, 5% for marketing, 4% for advisors, 13% for team, and 10.5% for public sale, and finally 12% for private sale. So I know that was a bunch of numbers. By right, you shouldn't be memorizing them as I speak. You can refer to the white paper, right? So for the audiences out there, you can refer to the white paper. It's all there. So there are a few things within this tokenomics that I sort of want to point out and really clarify. The first point is the close percentages between private and public sale. For most projects, their private sale or their public sale will be slanted towards one side. Either the public sale or the private sale will have a much heavier percentage. But for us, if you look at our tokenomics, 10.5 versus 12, it's only a 1.5% difference. Now, what this means is that we are trying to balance interests of key stakeholders with the effect of decentralization. Because at the same time, the project is in its early stages. We want the project to realize our full direction as well. Before the public, before the community can come in and start to contribute, really add on to the platform and see how it works through our governance tokens and governance structure. So that's why we put a very close percentage between public and private sale. This is something that honestly, I wasn't the one who planned the tokenomics, but I fully agree, wholeheartedly agree with this kind of arrangement. And I think this leads back to our tagline. If you guys visit our website, you will see that we are actually CDeFi, centralized, decentralized finance. And this is where I want to bring this theme in, right? For us, we don't believe in, full DeFi or full CeFi. We don't think it works that way. We want to seek a balance. So that's why this 10.5 versus 12% is a very good representation of the CDeFi spirit and the CDeFi model, whereby both the community and key stakeholders in the long run, they will come together and they will decide on the direction of this platform. The day will come whereby developers themselves or ourselves, we might be even out of the picture. There might be a new group of developers coming up and manage the platform. That's actually what we hope will happen, right? Because we know that maybe one day we are not so creative anymore. Maybe one day we get old. You never know, right? Things happen. The best way to ensure the longevity of a project is when there are so many different talents on the project that even if one team doesn't perform, the other teams will take over. And that's really what we hope to achieve. That's point number one. The second point is our team percentage, 13. So I've heard a lot of arguments, right? Pro and against the number 13. Some people say it's too much, too little. But usually we will tell them this. We'll say, look, the 13% for team is not just for the existing team. It is also for all the future team members that will come on board. So we have to take that into account as well. I mean, I can easily constitute just 5%, or if you guys want 2%, I am totally fine with that. But the problem is, how will we split the tokens to the future talents that we'll recruit? And if we don't recruit talents, if we don't get new people into the team, how will the project continue to perform? So this is where I want to just clarify on this figure. And the second thing that a lot of people would like to talk about is our cleave period. So we have a 6 months cleave for the team, whereby after 6 months, only on the 7th month, we get 10% release per month. A lot of people say, a lot of people like to say that the other projects out there, they have a 10 months cleave period, they have a 12 months cleave period, they have a 24 months cleave period, and then they say METASEER is too short, 6 months. But to be honest with you, if we have a 24 months cleave, again, how do I expand the team by the 12th month or by the 10th month? How do I expand the team? There's no budget. There's nothing, there is no carrot to dangle to attract new developers or new talents to the team. Okay, so that's why for us, it's very important that we have a reasonably short or reasonably long vesting schedule so that we can continue to attract talents to the team. Right, that's second point. That's the second point. The last point is, I would like to say is for the ecosystem development, right? 15.5%. So a lot of people say, okay, this figure is neither here nor there. Why don't you just put 20 or, I don't know, 14 or 12? Honestly, I want to just clarify this. Through our own experience of managing so many projects and so many different ventures, we find that ecosystem development needs to at least have 15%. And the reason for that is because there are so many things that can happen in the future which we cannot predict. All right. For example, what if we want to expand our asset type? What if we want to build METASEER on another chain besides BSC or Solana? Right? What if we want to build the entire platform on maybe an off-chain solution? What if we want to go ahead and turn our web app into a mobile app? So all of these things take money. And I mean, when I say that, it's a bit straightforward, but it's the truth. It takes money, right? Nobody is going to work for free. That's the truth. So with all these developments in mind, and with the fact that when we look at binary options, vanilla options in the traditional finance space, you look at those platforms out there, most of them, they have a mobile app. Most of them, they have a web app. So it is not impossible that for METASEER, we have a mobile app in the future as well. We just need to figure out how to do the Web3 for a mobile app, how to make it very smooth, seamless, which is not difficult. But when it comes to the execution, it's also not that easy as well. So all these things are in the picture. And because we have a reference, this is a referenced product from the traditional finance space, we find that actually there's a lot of spending to be done in terms of developing the project and the platform, right? Of course, from our end, we expect that to lead to an increase in token price. We expect that, right? Because that's the same thing that has been happening to all other projects. So at the end of the day, it will benefit token holders more if the team can use the budget to bring the project to different places. And that's why for ecosystem development, we quoted a 15.5% because we believe that it has to be at least 15% for the project to develop for the next 24 to 36 months, right? Yeah, I think that's the 3 points that I want to make regarding our tokenomics.
Yeah, so after hearing about your token distribution, I think I finally get like a better understanding of the phrase CDFI.
Agree.
So let's just say that for the centralized finance, what we have is like stability and also like a fixed mechanism to organize an organization. But for the decentralized finance, we go with a faster pace, but sometimes the team and also the distribution are not as stable as centralized finance. So what I can see is that you're actually trying to balance every factor by doing exactly what you should do with a centralized finance product. But the only thing that is different here is that you're also trying to merge it and change the number to balance the centralized factor to the decentralized finance. So I can see that it's a smart move. And just like you say, you know exactly how the product it's gonna work because the centralized version of it, it's already a big hit. So I can say that the possibility that you're paving is actually wider, much wider than just binary option. So for now, are you planning to like perfecting and stick with the binary option services, or are you planning to stick your business model with the CDFI uh, business model to cross like more centralized finance product into the CDFI products? So what would be like the possible choice for your future of MetaSeer?
I think for METASEER, our product in the short to mid term, we will, when I say short to mid term, I'm referring to the next 12 to 24 months. We are definitely focusing on our core product, which is hybrid options, right? A combination of binary plus vanilla options. For the next 2 years, we will focus on our primary product, right? Because this product itself requires a lot of marketing. And number two, based on our marketing outreach and our projections on the marketing side, we will need at least 2 years for this product to propagate or to spread successfully to the traditional finance space. So to answer your question, Luke, I think for the next 2 years, we will definitely be focusing much more on the core product of hybrid options. We won't really be delving into other products, okay? Because the very nature of hybrid options itself is already so colorful and so widespreading, meaning that we could even do options on NFTs, right? As long as the NFT value can go up or go down, we could do binary options on NFTs, hybrid options on NFTs. We could do hybrid options on FX. We could do hybrid options on shares and stocks. But the similarity is that no matter the asset, you're always using crypto to enter the trade. You're always using crypto to enter the trade. And let's not forget that this is just the product development side. On the ecosystem side, we also have this thing called platform as a service, whereby we will partner up with low cap tokens or new tokens to create an additional utility for them. What do I mean by that, right? So it's quite simple. I'm a new token. My name is token ABC, right? I have maybe this set of utilities. So what can happen is that we can partner up with this new token and say, look, token ABC, we are the MetaSeer team. So how about we give your token another utility? We allow your token, we enable your token to buy hybrid options. So suddenly and magically, with the snap of a finger, what happens is that same token now has another utility, which is to buy hybrid options. Now, if you notice, what has happened there in that split moment is that we have created individual ecosystems within the overall MetaSeer ecosystem. So this is something that our audience, our users are also very excited about. They want to see different tokens being used to enter a trade. Of course, if you use token ABC to enter a trade, whatever your financial gain is, you will also gain, you will also profit, you will also make money in the form of the same token. So ABC is to ABC, D is to D, B is to B. So it's that's why I say it's like small little ecosystems that exist within the overall MetaSeer ecosystem. Now, when I say it like that, these 2 points above, you already realize that just by developing our current product, we could easily take 2 years to realize all of these visions. And it's very doable. It is very executable, right? But just our core product alone, we can have so many different paradigms. We can have so many different layers of dynamics that is added to the project. So Luke, to be honest, we will be focusing on our core product. We don't want to be distracted. We don't want to be confused. We don't want our tech resources to be diluted. We want it to be very focused on sharpening the core product. And then after that, we will develop sub products based on the core product instead of creating another core product by itself. That is the plan for METASEER, right? And honestly speaking, just doing that alone is already a huge endeavor, but a powerful endeavor. If we complete the endeavor, more or less, the three of us with our current team members and the future team members, we can say to each other, good job, guys. Good job. You did what you can already. Now, time for the next generation. Right? So,
Yeah.
to be honest, we just want to focus on our core product.
Yeah. So I can see it's very logical. So you have all the resource focus on one product to make it perfect. But I think that no matter what you do, the idea of CDFI gonna be inspired by you and also by your case. So I guess that soon we'll also see like thousands or maybe hundreds, who knows, other project doing the transition between the centralized finance product into a fully decentralized version of it. So we have talked about the token distribution. So now I just want to retrace that a little bit. So can you give us like some more use cases for your token? Because I can see it since the every token can be adding more option to your platform. So how are you planning to utilize your token into the activities of your model?
Okay, so very good question. Our token will have three core utilities. Right? Number one, when you are a user of our platform, meaning that you want to buy a hybrid option, you can buy using BUSD or any other currency that we allow. But the moment you want to utilize what we call the insurance function, which is a capital protection function, you will need metas. You will need to pay metas to activate this function, whereby we protect your capital at a price, right? So it's a capital protection function. So for example, you did a call on Bitcoin to go above, I don't know, 45,000 in 10 minutes. Just an example, right? If at the 9th minute, you are still losing money, you are still out of money, meaning that it is still below 45,000, you can activate this insurance function whereby we will refund you your entire trading amount of $100. But in order to refund you that amount, you need to pay us metas. Right? So this function can only be utilized by metas. And this will apply. This exact logic will apply to whatever token that is being used to enter the trade. It will apply to whatever asset you speculate on in the MetaSeer ecosystem. It will apply to all time frames, and it will apply to even our white label projects, right? So that is the first utility of Metas, has a insurance activation currency. Number two, when a new token wants to enable itself to purchase hybrid options, meaning that this new token, they want to be allowed into the MetaSeer ecosystem so that they can use their token to enter into a trade, they will need to pay Metas as well, has a listing fee. They will need to pay Metas, has a listing fee, so that the circulating supply of Metas is reduced. So that's the second utility. Metas has a listing fee. The third utility is you can stake Metas to earn Metas and our governance token, METAC, right? That more details will be released later on for the governance token. But suffice to say, as the word suggests, governance, that token will play a critical role in deciding where the platform will go in the future. So these are the three utilities of our token. Number one, to activate the insurance function. Number 2 has a listing fee. And number 3, they can stake it to earn more metas and to earn METAG, METAG. Okay, so these are the 3 utilities.
About my current job is that I get to interview like all kind of project developers, and somehow this job is really worthwhile. And yeah, you really make me so inspired because now I can see that what you're trying to do is like attaching your token into like safety services, so that way your token itself is very stable because you are only applied to like security services and also insurance services. So the token itself, it's like a guarantee for the users, and for the stake and for the farming function, it will also give you like a very stable liquidity for the whole process. So, wow, that's just wow, man. You know exactly what you do.
Yeah, I have the same thought as Luke as well.
Yeah.
Like getting to know you and all the other developers and see how they have these just amazing ideas just so like eye opening, right?
The world is actually bigger than we thought,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Yeah.
So we would like to know more about the roadmap of METASEER. Would you give us a little description of how you guys have been working on that and where are you guys right now on the roadmap?
Okay, so for the roadmap, all right, a summary of it can be found on our one pager, but I will just repeat the infographic here. Okay, so in terms of tech, our roadmap is very simple. We have finished developing the solar BSC bridge. So we are one of the few IDOs whereby we actually did the tech even before we raised the fund. So we have already done the bridge. I myself have come out with a tutorial video that will be released to the crowd, I think within these few days. So after the bridge, we have also issued tokens on both chains. We have issued tokens on the Solana chain. We have issued tokens on the BSC chain. So we have done those 2 things in terms of tech. The next thing we're going to do is the programming of the platform itself. We're going to start from this thing called the writer's pool, right? Basically, the writer's pool will be the house of the platform. So when you trade, when you buy a hybrid option and you make money, that profit that you make needs to come from somewhere, right? It's not going to come from me. All right, it has to come from the platform. Okay, so the writer's pool will be an open pool for anybody who wants to be a writer to contribute liquidity. Once they contribute liquidity, of course, they'll be rewarded when the traders themselves, they are not successful in their trades. The amount which they use, let's say they traded a $100 position, that $100, 96.5% of it will go towards the writer's pool. The other 3.5% will go towards ecosystem development, right? So what happens is we're going to start with the writer's pool. Program that. After we finish programming the writer's pool, what will happen next is that we will go on to program the call and put smart contract function. Once these 2 things are done, we will probably up the platform. But just before that, we will integrate a centralized Oracle. This is where I need to clarify something. A lot of people say a DeFi project, you need to integrate a DeFi Oracle. Unfortunately, as of now, based on our research, DeFi oracles have lag times because of the state of the blockchain. And number 2, especially for our product, which is very short time frame, binary options, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, the price feed has to be flawless. The price feed has to be perfect. You cannot even lag for 1 second. So for that to happen, we will be using a centralized Oracle at the start. Okay, but it will be a centralized Oracle that doesn't have any conflict of interest, meaning that they themselves, they don't offer any options products, right? We will review the name of the Oracle in time to come, but don't worry, it will be an Oracle that has no conflict of interest so that we know that we can trust it. After integrating the Oracle, after getting the writer's pool smart contract up, after getting the call put smart contract up, when these 3 components of the recipe is ready, we will up the entire platform on the BSC testnet first, BSC first. When these 2 things are done, completed, stable, we will go on to program the insurance function into the platform. Once that is done as well, that means the BSC basic product is completed. At the start, we will only allow speculation on crypto assets, but the centralized oracle that we are using will allow us to go into markets like FX, stocks, shares, commodities. Okay? Now, once the BSC platform is completed, before expanding to other asset types, we will first build the Solana platform. We will repeat all the steps that we did for the BSC platform, do it again for the Solana platform. The reason why we are doing BSC first is because we already have a code base for BSC. So it's easy to start building on it first. Solana side is a very different story. Solana is a very powerful blockchain. The transaction speed, if I'm not wrong, is 50,000 transactions per second. They beat Visa, they beat even MasterCard, right? Now, the only thing, however, is that it's because it's so new, very few developers know how to build on it. That's why Solana will take a bit more time, right? I'm just telling you guys from a very realistic point of view. Now, after the Solana platform is up, then we will go back to expand the asset range for the BSC platform to maybe FX, to commodities. Then we'll go to the Solana side and expand the asset range. After these two things are done, we will expand the time frames. Maybe we will allow 10-minute options. After that, 15 minutes. So when these two platforms are very stable, good to go, that's where we will explore building on newer chains, like maybe Polygon. And probably by then, fingers crossed, Cardano will be ready. We'll be on Cardano. Polkadot will be ready. We'll be on Polkadot. So you can see that the whole business, the whole tech roadmap is not a randomly put together set of events. We have certain routines that we repeat, refresh, rinse and repeat, and just continue for every single new chain. We take the same set of things that we did for one chain and just duplicate it, so that every single chain, our platform will exist and they will look identical. Of course, the transaction speed and all that, that's not something that we can control. It depends on the blockchain's capability, right? That's not something that we can control. But I have faith. I have faith in Cardano. I have faith in BSC. I have faith in Solana. I have faith in Polkadot that the blockchain will definitely be able to execute hybrid options, which is binary options plus vanilla options. We'll be able to execute these products with precision and flawlessly. I have no doubt. I have faith in our blockchain developers. So that is the tech roadmap. In terms of the marketing roadmap, very simple. SEO, ads, all these things will come into the picture, right? That's the basic. We'll be running these Twitter ads, Facebook ads, Google ads. That's the basic SEO. But on top of that, we'll be forming partnerships. So this is where I say again, our token utility and our partnerships, our marketing approach actually ties together. When we enable new tokens to enter a trade for hybrid option, what happens is very simple. These new tokens will market us like we market them. So a natural marketing partnership is formed. It is formed just like that, no cost. They don't suffer a cost, we don't suffer a cost. Both sides cost-free. So we'll keep doing this, leveraging off each other so that we can reach out to a larger crowd. Number two, we also have certain advisors on the team that will connect us to certain groups of users, right, for the gaming side, which are interested in our product. So they will open the doors. We will help these platforms to transit from a centralized platform to a decentralized platform. And we will help to white label, we will white label our platform to them. It will be under their own logo, their own flag, but using our tech. Okay, using our tech, but maybe they will offer other products, other assets. It will still be hybrid options, but maybe hybrid options on other kinds of predictions. So I can't comment as of now, but that is the marketing roadmap and the tech roadmap as we see it right now.
Wow. That's just wow. Well, to be honest, according to our script, I was about to ask you about the challenges and also how you overcome them. But after hearing everything you said, I can see that everything are just there. The the picture that you are trying to pursue, and working on a product that can work on multiple networks, it's just challenging itself. And I can also see that the way you plan everything and also your experience being put into you, it's just how you're greatly overcome it. So, well, hands up and just good luck for me. I have no doubt that you're getting what you want there, man.
Yeah, I think all those questions are all satisfied, and thank you for your sharing. Right now, we're moving on to the second part of this live section, which is the Q&A, where I will pick five of the best comments or the best questions from the community, from the viewers, and those who get picked will get the giveaway reward. Um, for the first question that we have right here, uh, so it's asking, your project sounds very ambitious since it includes lots of fields. What can be sure that you're going to manage the overall project well without being distracted by small elements?
Okay, so Tom Hiddleston. Okay, so I think let's address the first part of the question, whereby the comment is that our project sounds very ambitious. Well, maybe it's just the way I phrase it. But if you just look at the whole overall point, actually it's just one core product. And then from that one core product, we are developing sub-products. And the sub-products will take minimal to zero technical effort and time. So honestly, we are not super ambitious, right? We are not super ambitious. What we are, however, is we are hell-bent, we are determined to make our product work. That would be, I would think, a sort of a more appropriate way to put it. But coming back to your question, it doesn't include a lot of fields, right? Like it or not, we are still very much focused on the prediction markets category. We are not going into AMM swaps. We are not going into lending and borrowing. We are not going into NFT gaming, right? We are still very much focused where we are. Just that within where we are, we hope to create an ecosystem that will promote the longevity of the project and the longevity of the token. And of course, well, for you holders out there, the pricing longevity of the tokens, right? So it includes a lot of fields, but none of those fields stand alone. None of those fields are isolated. They are all related back to our core product. Now, to really answer your question, your second part of the question, what can be sure, how can you be sure that we will manage the overall project without being distracted by small elements? I think this is where maybe I go into a little bit on the operation side. So number one, we have bi-daily meetings. Bi-daily means every 2 days we meet once. The whole team meets once, right? To make sure that we iron out our marketing message, we iron out the technical roadmap. Number two is this: when it comes to the technical development side, our developers are given a very clear roadmap. Writers pool, core put smart contract, integration of Oracle, insurance function. They are given a very well-defined, well-detailed roadmap, so much so that our developers know exactly what to do. And we have a separate group of developers for the blockchain functions and for the website. So if we need anything changed on the website, just aesthetical changes, they will be the ones to do it. We don't disturb the other team. We only assign to the teams what they are supposed to do. In Hokkien, we don't pao ka liao, means we don't make one team do everything. Right? So that they do what they are best at, they don't have to do anything outside of their scope. Which comes back to my point, right? That's why we need a reasonable allocation for our team tokens, so that we can have specialists doing what they're supposed to do instead of doing everything else. That's the reason why we need team allocation, right? This question actually supports my point that we need people in different vacancies, in different slots, so that they do what they do and they are not distracted, right? I hope my answer is satisfactory, right? I'm ops lead, so I'm giving you a very operational answer, a very specific, precise answer on how we manage our time, on how we deploy our manpower, including myself. I'm also the manpower, right? This is how we deploy. We have a set task, and anytime we find that this guy is doing something that's out of his scope, we have a meeting, we draw it back, and we assign to the right person. So we make use of softwares like monday.com, right? We make use of task management softwares as well, task list management softwares. We make sure that we have bi-daily Zooms to make sure that everybody is on track.
So I guess that it's time for the second question, huh?
Mm-hmm.
So the next question is, without proper marketing and capital infusion, the project dies. How do you convince us you have adequate marketing power and capital to push this project to the top project?
Okay,
Well,
great.
so let's convince our audience.
Yes, that's what I'm
Just
here
for
for.
real.
So the problem of marketing and the issue of capital infusion, I think it's something that probably pertains to every product in the world. Not just crypto, not just TradFi, not just CFI. It pertains to every product in the world. And like it or not, although I'm the ops lead, I'm also very, very concerned about marketing. Now, the way we approach this marketing mission is this. We are trying to strike a balance between budget and effect. Because when you market too much, your budget dies quickly. And we all know marketing is about consistency. You can't just market intensely for the first 3 months and then go quiet, right? Unless you have a very good reason. So we have to make sure that our budget is planned for the next 12 to 20 months so that we can keep marketing until the platform has sufficient users. So the way we ensure that we have adequate marketing power, the first point is that we spread our budget out. We don't focus on one spot and then after that, no sound, no fire, right? We make sure that along the journey, you guys know where we are, see us in Twitter, in Facebook, whatever it is. Along the way, you see us. That's the first way. We ensure that our marketing doesn't die and we manage our capital. The second way is this. In terms of marketing power, a lot of the times we strive for zero cost marketing. Okay, so a lot of people will hear us and say, what are you talking about? How can marketing come at zero cost? Well, it can. And the answer to that is partnerships. You partner a project that doesn't want to pay anything as well, and you expose each other to each other's audiences. So a lot of the budget and the capital can be saved when we forge meaningful partnerships. And that's why, again, coming back to the utility of the token, that's why we have a platform as a service utility. We allow low cap or new tokens to buy our hybrid options so that in exchange, we are exposed to their audience, they are exposed to our audience. It is literally win-win. And that form of marketing doesn't come at any cost. And like it or not, it's actually more effective. Why? Because when we go into another tokens community to do an AMA, at the very least, I know that community is active. It's active, right? When we do random AMAs, with some of the providers, I mean, BSC Army is definitely one of the ones that really, really work out. But there are AMAs out there that don't work out. Like we see bots answering us. Like, whoa, okay. Suddenly all these questions come out. We don't even know where they came out from. Like suddenly just one load of questions in the Telegram chat. So we don't even know whether we are really answering humans, right? So sometimes these AMAs don't really work. The best type of AMAs are actually those that we secure through partnerships, because at least we know they have an active community, right? Maybe not a big community, but at least active. So these are some ways that we try to secure zero cost marketing through strategic partnerships. So these are the two ways that we ensure that we have adequate marketing power without drying up our capital. Number one, we spread our budget. We don't focus on one side and then we die for the rest of the journey. Number two, we try to achieve cost-free marketing wherever we can. And last of all, because of the fact that the three leads, right? We have so much experience dealing with influencers, dealing with vendors, dealing with all the different marketing agencies. We already know who can perform, who cannot perform. That's why right now this AMA with BSC Army is happening, because BSC Army is one of the best AMAs out there. We already know, right? So that helps us to save a lot of time and a lot of cost as well, right? So those are the three methods to make sure that we have adequate marketing and make sure that our capital will last us all the way.
Just wow, man. I think I actually learned too much about you. So you're so visionary and you actually know exactly what you do. And you really know how to make plans. One thing for sure is that if I could plan on how to hit on girls during my university days, I might have been married already. So now you're making me feeling bad about myself, man.
Well, thank you
But
for your good word about BSC Army as well.
yeah,
Because yeah, I mean, we're glad that we got like a good impression on you guys.
yeah. After all, I guess that once we see what we want to do, we'll come up with a proper solution eventually.
Mm-hmm.
So
And
thanks for the compliments.
yeah, we keep
Hi.
improving every day.
Yep.
So for the third question that we have, since binary options doesn't let you own any assets, it just makes a prediction of the price. How are you gonna distinguish between BO in your project from gambling?
Okay, great question. Whoa, okay, this is the question. we have been asked this a lot of times, right? Honestly, okay, now a few facets to just iron out here. To answer this question in the face, we have to ask ourselves, what is the difference between gambling and investing? So to answer that question, let us picture me going to a casino. When I go to a casino and I roll the dice, is there any technique involved? I mean, I don't know. At least for me, there's no technique. There's no way I can shake the dice and it comes out exactly what I want it to be. I'm not the god of gamblers, and I don't think most of us are. Okay, so there is no technique involved when it comes to gambling. You really, literally, just put your money on the table, cross your fingers, cross both sets of fingers, cross your toes as well, and make sure that you win and hope that you win. You hope and you hope. In other words, gambling is solely based on luck. There is no technique involved, right? If you have a technique, kudos to you, right? At least most of the people I know who go to the casino have no technique. That's why the number one game at the casino is Baccarat. All right, for you gamblers out there, you will know. The number one game is Baccarat because that is the only game with the least amount of house age. When I say least, it means that the house still has an age. You just don't know it, okay? There's still a house age, but at least the house age is minimum. So it's almost 50-50. That's why Baccarat is the top game, because you can't apply any techniques. You have to go for the game that is the fairest, and that's why Baccarat is the top game. Now, coming back to METASEER, it is not anywhere similar to going inside a casino and throwing dice. Number one, you can look at charts. You can do TA, right? What we will do for our platform is that we will allow users to open up a chart at the bottom. They can map the chart to their entry price and do their own TA. They can use indicators like RSI. They can use indicators like stochastic oscillator. They can use indicators like MACD conversions and divergence, right? To decide on which side of the trade they will enter. There is and there must be analysis to be done. In addition, we will also publish the previous trades of the users that are on the platform so that you can use it as a reference. So in other words, what I'm trying to say is that for our platform, it's not gambling because there are points to analyze. There are analytical tools that you can use. And it's not just a matter of throwing a dice and closing your eyes, crossing your fingers, and hoping that you win. It's not. So I hope that answers the question.
So for the fourth question, it says, I don't see any information about the security and protection of project user information. So how will your platform protect investors and customers?
Yeah, so I guess for this question, you have already mentioned how you come up with a technical solution, but I guess the real question here is that they cannot really find where you put your information about security.
Yeah.
So, do you want to tell the audience how to find such information, or at least when you are going to make it online?
Okay, so number one is you can go to our GitHub. You can look at the kind of codes that we have published there. We already have a preliminary version of the writer's pool smart contract. And like I said, because I myself, I lead Auction, which is another blockchain project. That smart contract that you see on the MetaSeer GitHub is already audited, right? You can go to Auction and you will know. It's already audited. That's number one. So because of the code references that we have, I'm proud to say that whatever code we're about to use is audited code. That's number one. Number two is this. Security, again, like the flash loan question, is not super applicable to our project. Why? When you come to our platform, you connect your wallet and you trade. It's Web3. You connect, you press connect wallet, choose a network, and you trade. The funds do not leave your wallet until you enter the trade. You do not deposit your funds to us. We do not have any treasury functions. We do not hold custodianship over your tokens and coins. All we do is really just let you connect your wallet, and that's it. That's it. So in that kind of dynamic, how will we ever compromise the security of your wallet? You trade, enter the trade, wait for the trade to pan out, and then you disconnect your wallet. That's all. The only security risk is with the writer's pool getting hacked. But that's not a risk that the user side, the player side, the trader side needs to be concerned with. That is for the writers to be concerned. And that's why our writer's pool smart contract has been audited. That's the reason why. Okay? On the side of the traders, the players, they have nothing to worry about. Your coins are always in your wallet. It doesn't leave your wallet. You don't give your funds to us. You take care of your own coins. If your wallet is hacked, it's because you show your private key to someone. Okay? That's the only reason why your tokens are gone. On our end, we don't collect any funds, right? So I hope that answers the question. In terms of user information, we don't need any user information. You collect your wallet and you can start trading. We don't really KYC you. So you just start trading whenever you want, right? So we don't need you to log in. We don't need you to fill up a form. We don't need you to fill up a Google Sheet. No, just connect your wallet and start trading. Just like any Web3/DeFi project.
Yep. Wow. So I guess that we're still gonna have a lot of questions like this received from every AMA until DeFi blockchain is really becoming like a visible reality for everyone. So I guess from this point until that future, all of our projects still have a long way to go and a lot of things to do. So I guess we still have to stick with the questions anyway. And hopefully the future of everyone understanding DeFi and blockchain technology will be coming here soon. At least that's what we are striving for, right? So Kristen, the last question is yours.
Okay, so for the last question, do you have any coin burn buyback systems or any token burn plans to increase the value of the token and attract investors to invest?
Okay, so in terms of coin burn, we are not going to do any coin burn. Our token is fully pre-mined, so if we still burn them, there won't be much left. So we are not going to burn our coins. It's fully pre-mined. But in terms of buyback, that's where I refer you back to our ecosystem, whereby the spread, 3.5% of the spread will go towards ecosystem development. Part of the budget there will be used to buy back coins from the market, whether it's on a DEX or on a centralized exchange, right? So part of the money there will be used to buy back the coins. Okay, so you don't have to worry about that. Number two is our coin utility itself promotes and restricts circulating supply, meaning that when you want to lease your token on our platform so that you can enable it to buy hybrid options, you need to pay us metas. So that is also one way where we take back metas. When you want to utilize the insurance function, you need to pay metas as well. So to pay metas, you need to go and buy metas. So that is one way where we reduce the circulating supply as well. So the coin utility is always tied back to reducing circulating supply, right? And honestly, these are all the tips and tricks. These are the strategies that really, really work. Not just for us. We are not using these strategies for the first time. There have been many projects before us that utilize similar strategies. We are not going to reinvent the wheel because the wheel works. And that's why we believe that these strategies will be able to sustain and support the value of the token.
Answers from you. So I hope.
Okay.
Okay, thank you for that. Yeah, that was a really brief and concise answers from you. So I hope whoever asked those questions get their answers and are satisfied with those. So yeah, I think we're closing up because time's running out already. So for those who got their questions picked today, we will announce the winners and on our BSC Army Twitter account, and also we have a guidance on how to claim the reward. So stay tuned for that. And yeah, so Luke, do you want to say anything?
Well, just to you, Japheth. Thank you for your time and coming here for our session today. We really learned a lot, and to be honest, the only thing we can show you now is like admiration of all your experience and what you're bringing to this market. So all the luck to you and your team. So we'll see how you work on METASEER in the future. So
yeah,
good luck with everything. Yeah, and I hope that we can do this more often.
Thank you so much. I would love to be back. Thank you guys.
Me too.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Well, for next session,